Hello everyone, welcome back to our series on apple varieties. Today's variety is Razor Russet. This one has a cool history. It was discovered in Kentucky in 1970, and it's actually a sport of Golden Delicious. And so what happens is every Golden Delicious that you buy in the grocery store or anywhere else is genetically the same as the very first Golden Delicious tree, because trees are reproduced by cloning in the fruit world. If you plant a Golden Delicious seed, you're not going to get anything like a Golden Delicious apple. So every single Golden Delicious that you've ever eaten is genetically identical to the very first Golden Delicious tree that Stark Brothers had way back when. Now, sometimes when you graft, there's a genetic mutation, even though it's grafted, and that's what's called a sport. So this apple, Razor Russet, was from what was supposed to be a Golden Delicious tree, but it's turned out to have its own characteristics that are similar, but also slightly different. So the differences here are in texture and appearance. You could see before I was showing the kind of pockmarked skin that it has. I would say the biggest difference is the texture. It has a very breaking texture, sort of like an Asian pear. You know, you bite into it and it kind of breaks off in chunks in your mouth in a way when you bite it. It's a really cool texture. You don't see it as I'm slicing, but if you were to bite into it, you would notice that quality to it. So it's not a super complex flavor. It's very like a Golden Delicious. It tastes very similar. It's sweet. This one's a touch more tart, but not by a whole lot. I think the big differentiation is the texture, but it's a very pleasant eating apple. You know, it's good, keeps you coming back for more. You know, it's just a very easy eater. And you know what I mean? If you try a lot of different kinds of apples, some you see why they're not super popular. And some you're like, wow, why isn't this in the grocery store? Razor Russet's a really nice, pleasant apple. It's a fun curiosity because of its appearance, but I think what sets it apart more than anything is the texture. It's like you're eating an Asian pear. That's kind of the texture, and I really like that. And so it's one that we have grafted to our multi-grafted tree. This came from an orchard, not our tree yet, because I just made that graft. Actually, it's a video I made last spring. But I would highly recommend Razor Russet for your orchard, especially if you do a multi-grafted tree, because it's a fun curiosity and it's one that you'll enjoy eating again and again.